Cheers, thank you. Cool, right. There's just on screen there, obviously, tickets available for Crawley here on Tuesday as we welcome them. Obviously, we gave them their only away win of the season last year, so hopefully it'll be slightly more positive this year.
Hopefully. I'm just, at this moment with Spike behind the camera as well, I'm just saying, I really want the Shield music to be playing right this moment as Jake Reeves makes his way through the crowd.
It's almost like NBA coverage, isn't it, when you get walking through the...
walking through the crowd, slapping hands, with all the fans.
There you go. Welcome, Jake. Good, thank you. Yeah.
I'm good, you?
How are you today? How was your walk up? You got it all on camera, all the angles.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah.
What are you looking to today, sort of for the team and watching on?
Yeah. So we're really good at home. So hopefully more of the same. Traditionally good fast starters, which we're going to need today because I think Morecambe have had a good little run recently. I think they won 4 out of 5.
They won their last 3. Yeah.
But obviously the atmosphere that we're all making here, and obviously everyone's together, so hopefully more of the same, really.
Absolutely. How's your injury recovery going?
Yeah, good. I trained fully yesterday. Obviously today's a little bit too soon after only like sort of 1. So available as of Monday.
Amazing. Obviously, as on screen there, Crawley, welcome to Plough Lane. Are you looking forward to get back out on the pitch? It's been, would have been 3 or 4 games now?
3 weeks. I think we've had 4 games.
4 games,
or 5 including the cup game. So frustrating, but you can only get behind the boys and try and help them sort of in a different way. You obviously see the game so much differently when you're watching.
Yeah. Where do you watch from, on the bench or up?
All different really. Like the other day I had my little boy with us last week, so I was up at the top stand. When you watch it from a different view, obviously you can understand how fans can get frustrated sometimes. The game seems a little bit slower and a little bit quicker, obviously, compared to where you're out there. Sometimes it's good to sometimes take a backward step like that, and you can sort of look again, and you go in at half time and you might have a little bit of advice to someone and say, look, I can see this building up and stuff. Obviously the gaffer's got so many things to think about for half times and stuff that not every message is going to be getting across. So sometimes you can just go in yourself and maybe give a couple of things, and especially because you train with them every day, so you know what their attributes are, you know what they can bring to the table. Sometimes you want to see it a little bit more, and in the game sometimes it's difficult to feel like you can do it, and obviously watching on, like I said, as fans you go, why don't you do that? So it's good sometimes to have a little sit back and a little reset.
And you mentioned just watching the games here at Bally, and the fact our home form has improved massively. We're so good at home. What conversations were had around the club, like amongst you? Like, I guess obviously you joined us in the summer, pretty well aware of how things ended last season and how we were. But what conversations were had in the dressing room about the reasons sort of why we were struggling to win games or even just see out games?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, first off, when you obviously technically it's a new signing, and we obviously had a few in the summer, and then obviously you get people ringing you up for interviews and stuff, and that's one of the first things they say is, how are you going to turn the home form around and stuff like that. So you're very, very aware, whether you weren't before, you're very aware when you come into the building. And I think it's a culmination of a couple of things. I think you see it at the higher levels when Arsenal left Highbury and stuff like that and have new stadiums. It's a different feel, and if you don't start particularly rapid straight away, sometimes that can play a factor, I think. Obviously the way the last 2 years have gone for the club obviously weren't great, so that's obviously naturally going to coincide with performances on the pitch, maybe squandering leads and stuff like that. And I think this year was about putting some building blocks down mainly, and performances was the key thing. Just the result never really worried too much. Performance. If you haven't won a couple, then it will turn. If you keep playing well, it will turn. And I think that's what we've seen this year really, is it's just a culmination of everyone knowing exactly what we're doing. And then, like I said, if you keep doing it, performances will get results. So, I think that's the main reason.
Yeah, and how good is it to be back? Obviously you joined us in the summer, and how good has it been back sort of in the new stadium and back with the boys and back in blue and yellow?
Yeah, brilliant. I've said before, like it's almost my 3rd time, so every time I come, it always feels exactly the same. It always feels like I've come home, sort of thing. I feel a very, very strong affiliation with the club, from fans to me, from me to the club. Who was in charge before, who's been in charge now? Obviously, the backroom sort of staff and people behind the scenes like Rocket, Trev, all same people. They're all the same people from what I know anyway. And being back's brilliant. Obviously, to come back and be handed the armband is obviously a very, very nice touch, and obviously massive. And I remember these plans being drawn up when I was last here for the stadium. So then to come back and be able to play, it was always something that I've wanted to do. You never know if things are going to quite work out like that in your career. Timing-wise, obviously timing was perfect. So as soon as there was any discussion, I jumped at the chance. So it's brilliant.
How did those? I can't remember. We've said you on the show before, but how did that discussion come around? Was Johnny on the phone to you sort of end of the season or over the summer? Because Alex Pearce said that they went for a coffee over out in Spain. They were 10 minutes away and went for a coffee. So
yeah, no, well, we played Wimbledon when I was at Stevenage. I think within the last 9 games, I think it might have been something like that. It was quite close.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah. And a couple of our lads had played for Jacko at Charlton, and they told me in the week, I spoke to him after the game and stuff like that, and said, "I really likes you. What's happening?" sort of thing. And I was like, "Okay, yeah." Never thought nothing of it. And literally the day after the last game was kicked, I got a phone call from my agent. Funny enough, I was just got into bed because we were going on our end of season do, so obviously we got promoted, and they offered me a contract within that first discussion. I was like, I'm going to get on a plane soon, so I'll speak to you when I'm out there, or maybe wait until I get back. Maybe wait until I get back. So it happened quite quickly. Obviously I was first signing. I think the gaffer wanted to get it done quickly, and I was very keen to get my future sort of sorted out as soon as possible. So, but I'd never met the gaffer before or anything like that. So it
must have been some summer, your promotion party out to Benidorm with the Wimbledon boys. That's some holidays.
A couple of little free holidays.
Where'd you go off to with the Stevenage boys?
Yeah, we went to Marbella.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, very.
Well deserved rest as well after a pretty intense season.
It was, yeah. Particularly playing with Steve, and he's very, very demanding, and that's why he's so successful. But you definitely need the break after, because it is relentless every day, and that's why he's so effective at what he's doing. And obviously, he's still doing really well. So there's no surprise there.
Now, of course, we can't look further ahead than the game this afternoon, and we've got Crawley coming up, and we've got Doncaster as well. But in a couple of weeks' time, we have a fairly big game down here. I just wanted to talk to you about memories of the last time I think you played in that fixture and scored quite an important goal for us. Do you remember that night? Your memories of that evening?
Yeah. Doesn't get spoke about enough, because unfortunately for me, the cult hero LT, of course, Niall Taylor scored the winner.
You were the one that scored the first.
If it had just been mine, then it would have been probably spoke about a bit more, which would have been nice. But fantastic memories. Was it the first game we played each other in the league?
At our place, yeah.
At our place, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. And funny enough, I played with a couple of lads that played in that game for the opposition.
Okay.
And they remember that game, and they don't have fond memories of it at all.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, the old stadium and how cramped it was, and it was electric, wasn't it? I mean, everyone was so pumped up for it. Tuesday night under the lights always has a little bit more of an edge to it. Yeah. And obviously we were brilliant. Yeah. We were fantastic. Obviously, scoring the goal was amazing. So, very, very fond memory.
There's that cartoon gif, isn't there, of Lyle Taylor, or like cartoonised gif as he runs around scoring the goal, saying, well, I'll omit one of the words, and this is my club. And that season gives you sort of goosebumps sort of video. Looking to this afternoon now, that's got such a strong squad now, where we've got players that come in. Obviously, James Ball's taking his place in the squad to help out, and Armand Little as captain. What's it like seeing Little with the armband, and I think Lee Brown's worn it as well?
Lee Brown's worn it early on.
How have they done under captaincy? As a captain looking on, how's that felt for you?
Yeah, brilliant. Like I said, the good thing about when you get a little bit older and you play a certain amount of games and stuff like that is there's no animosity towards anyone. No matter who plays, no matter who the gaffer picks, if someone gets dropped, someone doesn't play. I've not been playing, Bally's come in, he's done really well. If I get fit and the gaffer picks Bally, it's part and parcel of football, it is what it is. I would never wish anything bad on Bally, ever. And other clubs, that's maybe not the case. Some other clubs, certainly with other players, won't be like that. And I think one of the reasons why we're so together, why it feels like the fans are with us as well, is I think they can see that. And everyone genuinely just wants everyone to do well, no matter what. If they do well, we do well, it makes no difference. So that's one of the biggest things for me. And Armani with the captain's armband, I think he's continued playing as well as he was before, and obviously he probably feels like he's got a little bit more of a shoulders back moment, because you're the one who's got to be seen on the pitch, bad times and stuff, they sort of look to you as that person, and I think he's been doing really well with it.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think we were talking on sort of just before you came on how Armani Little just doesn't stop. He just covers every blade of grass, from another football cliche on the on the show, but he does cover everything, doesn't he?
He does, but I think that goes with, as you said, the team at the moment. They're always, it's all about the hard work we put in, and every single player is giving everything all the time. Yeah,
that is basically, it's a proper, as Gaffer said before in his interviews, he wanted to create a squad and a team that the fans would be proud of, and a proper Wimbledon team. And most clubs, especially in the modern day now, most clubs have a certain style of play, and if you don't play like that, fans might switch off, might get bored of it. Don't know what it's been like before. Obviously, I weren't here when the club got relegated and stuff like that. But this feels like how I remember it when I was last here. Similar style of play, similar way. We probably played more football than the team that I played in. It was pretty much just long ball. So we're like a mixture of that sort of thing as well. But we can do both, which is a really pleasing thing. and hopefully very exciting for people to watch.
Yeah, so how is it for you sort of in the middle of the pitch for a team that now plays football on the floor, passing out a lot so for the first time being a Wimbledon fan, I've seen us take the ball and sort of hold it at the opposition's box, playing it around, and it's really it's good for us to watch. I think nice to see us go to teams. How's that for you, sort of being in the middle of all that?
Yeah, well, firstly, every team has a structure and normally has important players within a structure that will do things that might not be seen by other people, and obviously playing as like a traditional 4-4-2 the way we do it. But we have Tilly that comes in the inside. If we play long, Tilly basically ends up as another midfielder in like a 10 role. So he's not out wide and you've got an overlapping fullback. JC on the other side is obviously the one more natural who can play up and really go and attack. So you end up with loads of numbers forward. And then obviously as a midfielder you're the pivot and you've got to try and keep it ticking. If the ball comes back out, you play. But then you also have a licence, which is nice, whereas other teams and stuff, you're normally really, really rigid and stuck. If I'm playing in the sitting role, which is normally the case, and let Marnie sort of float, if I feel there's a run to be made in the channel, I know I can do it because, as you said before, it's about the team, not the individual. It's not one player, I want to get in there. It's like the next person will then funnel in, and then obviously that keeps us being able to progress those attacks instead of being a traditional get it wide and only go for the back stick cross, whereas we can do a little bit of a mixture. So as a player, it's more pleasing because you get more options, opens up your potential as well. So it's brilliant.
Yeah, and sort of having all those options like you just said, how nice is that rather than, like say, being stuck in the same system of, right, I'm going to pass to Armani, he's going to pass to him. How nice is it to sort of allow yourself to show so many times our players show a bit of creativity and a bit of freedom, and it's nice to watch for fans.
Exactly. Yeah, well, fans want to be entertained, and like I said, you play within a structure and there's a way of the play and there's certain do's and don'ts within that. But like I said, the good thing here is that structure, then once you get past that white line, if you feel like I can do this and that's going to benefit us, and then you do that sort of little passage off the cuff if you like, but then it will go back to its structure and then the pictures will then look the same, but you've just created that. You can't just go off of it, whereas other clubs will only do that. And then that can become a little bit maybe boring for people to watch because they don't see the individuality and stuff like that. So like maybe like other teams would only see Tilly get the ball out wide, go on the outside and have to try and stand it up. Whereas here we get it to him and it's sort of that, then we open up his calibre as a player and go, well, you've got to do what you feel is naturally good for you. So as a player, like I said, it just allows you to then go out and express yourself and show what you've got, but also within the team structure.
Have that freedom, and I guess that's really what players enjoy.
Talking of sort of creativity, Ronan Curtis's goal to sort of lob the keeper. You know, we had him train with us for a while. You saw him in training, then for him to sign the deal. How big was that for us as a squad, and also to have a player of his calibre, join us and sort of get buy into what we're doing? Yeah,
huge. I mean, he obviously went through a really, really rough time at Portsmouth, and his relationship with Lee Brown is what initially gave him here, and our physios worked with him at Portsmouth before, so they wanted to help him get fit. And he'd come in and it was like seamless, really. It was almost like he was a signed player before. Gets on really well with the lads, lively in the dressing room, what you need and what you want. And obviously then you add in the fact, if you get him fully fit and raring to go, the kind of player that he can be. We've only seen little snippets of it at the minute where he's a little bit unfit. Team's changed a little bit, so his structure goes a little bit different. You've got to try and build that back. And then obviously he's starting today, so hopefully we see a lot more snippets and more fitness, and he's building and building and building every time. He's one of those sort of players, almost like an Ali when you lose Ali, who can 0-0, 1-1, he can do that little bit. You know, that's something a little bit different. He can add that little bit of quality in the final third. That's what we need to do. I feel like we need to do it a little bit more, if I'm being honest. Particularly when you've got him who's so good at coming inside, and you've got JC naturally so good at going on the outside. I'd love to see that today a bit more. If we can get it out wide to JC in our own halfway line, don't really matter because he's so athletic, and then we can get Ronan on the inside of the pitch and create him with the strikers. Because once we get Ronan in that sort of position, that'll free up Josh Kelly, and then we'll start seeing exactly what he's got, and we know what he's got.
Well, he's looked electric already. It's just waiting for that goal.
Waiting for that little bit of fluidity with his players, and obviously if we get Ronan starting more games, and that'll come, and it's coming at the right time for us as well. So yeah, really exciting to be able to see them two sort of have that little link, and obviously with Omar then allows Josh to then go and get what Ali used to do, go and get towards the goal a bit more. So yeah, hopefully that we see that a lot more today.
Absolutely. I think we've spoken for quite a while, haven't we? So I think we're going to jump into a highlights video. Apologies, Jake, but we talk all day. We've got highlights videos to jump into right now, so we'll do that. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us.
Nothing. Been a pleasure.
After you.
Oh.
Thank you very much.